go into talking about your playing days and what you kind of felt, how you would go back to it, just I guess maybe a little differently now that you've seen it and done it. Is there anything that you can help share?
Yeah, I mean, I played at the racket club there. I played with you, Brandon, and you played with my older brother, Reed. You were kind of in between our age groups, so you always had one of us there. Um, I mean, you know me, I'm a type A. I just love being around the guys and being, part of the locker room and riding the bus. And, I didn't really have the passion per se. I played 2 years at junior B in Victoria, but also, I was playing for Canadian Rugby at the time. I was playing high school basketball. I was, diversifying myself. And I had a great time doing it. Unfortunately, whatever you want to call it, retired at age 18, and went to school. And I decided that I still loved the game, but I wanted to get on the other side of it if I had any future. This was my brother Matt was playing in the National League at the time, putting up 20 goals with the Washington Capitals. So I could see that NHL life with my brother, but I just didn't really have the passion for the game. I wasn't physical. I wasn't, I was just like, hey, I'm along for the ride. But again, it's a different path. I think I've been successful in the game, but now off the ice, and I wouldn't change that for anything. People were, when I at 18 said, hey, I'm going to go to University of Calgary and get a business degree and, stop playing competitively, that was, hey, it was what I wanted to do, what I felt was right. And, looking back at it, it's been the best thing I've ever done because it's created a career and a network for me. So it just goes to show that, even though you think, you got to chase this dream and chase this, it goes back to that. I realized at a young age, 18, that, hey, it's okay that I'm not chasing in my brother's footsteps, and want to play in the NHL. I just didn't really have that drive. So, it is okay to just sit back and, things, as I said, I'm a strong believer that things happen for a reason and you control what you can control. And at that time, it was right for me to get off the ice and get into the boardroom. And I think it's been the best thing for me.
Yeah, for sure. And that's how I view it as well. There, Banner, from knowing you for a long time now. I think even from like the novice age of, I don't know, what's that, 7, 8 years old, and playing with Reed as well. But that's just who you were. Wouldn't say it was, you had the passion for hockey, just maybe not quite the passion and the want to keep moving up. It was more just you love being around the hockey environment, the people. You were always very likable guy and always wanting to entertain the teammates and, having that, having the, I guess you'd say, morale up,
Mm-hmm.
like, and that's a huge part to life as well. And you attract, positivity from that type of stuff. And that's what they talk about in the locker room and the brotherhood type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then just knowing from who you are also too is, you're doing what you're great at and you entertain these, I guess you'd say NHL superstars or, you take care of them. And that's just who you are. Who I've known that you are from a young age. And those are
Mm-hmm.
two important
No,
things.
and I think it's important. I realized my skill set was more around, the locker room and, being that brotherhood and bringing your teammates up. And I've translated that into a career, whether it was at Hockey Canada with, I did 6 World Juniors there, as you said, or Olympics or World Championships. And it's no different whether you're with the Victoria Cougars or you're with the World Junior team. Guys they're all humans. They're all compassionate people. They have down games, they have up games. It just happens to be a bit more of a spotlight on them. But, I was lucky enough through my experiences at Hockey Canada to kind of carry that over in my team service role of, being that middleman between the players and the management, to kind of be that buffer for them. Because it's not always easy for, a 17-year-old player to walk in and have the GM's ear. I can be that middleman of having the players trust, but also, the staff know that, I'm that buffer man, and there's a fine line of what I need to relay to management and coaches, but I also need to have the players trust that, put yourselves in their shoes, that they're 17 years old, likely away from home for the first time at Christmas. And, maybe there's more to the story than them just being late for a practice. You don't know the human side of it, of what's going on at home. How's, your family relationship? Is there something going on? And, just looking at them more than just player X, have that compassion to really break down and see the whole picture. That there is stuff going on away from the rink just because these are NHL superstars or, world junior superstars. They are humans, and it's important to have that connection and be able to not have them on that pedestal and just talk to them on a human side. And I think that's where I really helped out with Hockey Canada and really took my career to the next level.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's great. And something, I'm hoping that these players, parents, and coaches can use this as a platform, to not only relate, but use it, for some answers and some advice. But looking back now from being in the management of Hockey Can and now a current agent, but could you give them some suggestions, I guess, on how development side of hockey is going, and what maybe some things that you've seen in the past, from whether it be players issues, challenges, or parents or coaches, like there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the minor hockey into academy that you kind of sometimes shake your head at, or think that they should be learning a lot more about.
Yeah, you have to enjoy the game. And that's my biggest thing, is that you have to have that passion and enjoy it. But also I'm a big believer in, putting the gear away for a bit and having different sports. I think, growing up, whether it was lacrosse or golf or basketball or rugby, even when I was playing for the Junior B Cougars, I remember I flew in one day from Vancouver because I was playing provincial basketball, and then I was late for warm up. We were in the playoffs against the Peninsula Panthers, and I was like literally getting half dressed for a Junior B playoff game. And I remember Craig Goodman being like, "You're nuts." But hey, I loved all the sports. I wanted to do it, and if I could do it at a high level. So I'm a big believer in that. I think one thing I see these days is burnout. That you have to. I think that the skates and the sticks should not feel right with the first couple times you're on the ice in September. They should be stiff, and you should have that drive to want to get back in the rink, like we're all feeling right now. That competitiveness. And if you go year round with anything, I think, whether it's work and you just grind out, or hockey, or anything, that you need to have that reset and be able to put it away, to build that passion back up. So I'm a big believer of, for long-term player development, be multi-sport, play golf, play lacrosse, play, soccer is awesome for hand-eye, and just stuff like that I think it's important to be diverse, and that way you keep your passion strong. I'm not a strong believer of everyone, hockey should not be a 12-month sport or 12-month a year sport, in my opinion. And you have to create that separation to get those drive levels back up. And I think that's the biggest thing I see, is some kids, whether it's they're getting pushed by their parents or even the kids themselves, sometimes we need to step back and say, hey, you're not going on the ice today. It's July. You've gone all season long. I know everyone is very hungry right now for games with COVID and stuff that's going on. So it's a different scenario. But if it was normal times, put the gear away for a month or two. It's okay to do something else, and it doesn't have to be this year-round thing. If you're a professional and that's your job, then yeah, if you collect a paycheck for it. But if you're still playing minor hockey, it's okay to just step back a bit and get that drive back up, so that when you do hit the ice, you really, you feel that, and you're out looking at yourself in the mirror. I remember that, tryouts first day, you're like, oh, who's out, who's grown, who's done this. It's important to have that time away from the rink as well, to really keep that passion.
Yeah.